All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we're going to be exploring a little bit of green-blue Zanji. That's right, ST12 Zanji in OP09. Now, I will preface this whole video with I didn't add a lot of new cards to it. In fact, I think I only added 2. However, it's still good to revisit these older leaders, okay, in the newer sets, because sometimes these newer leaders, or excuse me, these older leaders do very well into the new meta. Like, for example, when it becomes a very heavy removal format, certain leaders actually get a little bump in their popularity and in their, in their matchups. Whereas in other metas where there's not much removal, which is, I think OP09 will not be a very heavy removal format. We'll have to see. We'll see how things go. Don't quote me on that. But think of it like this, guys. If OP09 becomes a low removal format, well, all of a sudden, decks like Green-Blue Zanji and decks like Blue Doflamingo end up being very, very strong, right? And we'll mess around with that idea in today's video. We'll be checking it out, okay? But let me give you guys a quick layout for what we're going to be getting into. First things first, we're going to head over to the lab. We got a game of Foxy, okay? That's right, Purple Foxy versus Blue Doflamingo. Okay, that should be a lot of fun. Very spicy way to start off the video. Then from there, we will head over to the sim. I've got 5 games prepared for us for Green-Blue Zanji. All right, in OP09. So that should be a lot of fun. Then we will wrap up the video with a deck list. I'll give you guys my thoughts on the deck list and where we can go with it, and all that good stuff. And that's pretty much it, guys. It is the weekend, so I do try to make my videos a little bit shorter on the weekend, so I got a little bit of extra free time. All right, so let's do this, guys. You know what you're getting into. Let's dive straight into it. I will have everything timestamped in the general description, and I will have all relevant deck lists and links down in the comment section below. All right, and as usual, if you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to ask them down in the comment section. I try to get to those as fast as I can, guys. I really do. Now, let's get into this video. First things first, we got a very exciting game here. I mean, I hope I haven't seen it yet. Let me remove the leader thing here. There we go. Of Foxy Pirates versus Blue Doflamingo. Now, this portion of the video, for anyone who's new to the channel, we call this the VV Lab, okay? This is not me playing the game. This is a community submitted game of someone, who watches my videos, who wanted me to review one of their games. I offer this completely for free, guys. This is like a free service. If you're interested in me reviewing your game, it's very easy. All you have to do, make sure you have the sim downloaded, right? So you can record it like this. Or you could record live games as well. I'm not opposed to that. I have done it in the past. But generally speaking, you'll record one of your games, upload it to YouTube, and then you'll send the link to me over in the Review My Games channel on the Discord. Okay? And then once you send it to me on there, I'll put a thumbs up by it, and then we're off to the races, right? I throw you in line. I will say, guys, it looks like we're seven pages deep right now. But I will say this: as far as new stuff goes, like I always put new players at the very front of the line, and we're only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 videos out from if you posted your video, directly after me, or how do I say this? If you want me to review your video and you posted it right now, you'd be 8 videos down the road, right, of me, or at least 8 videos of me doing the VV Lab, if that makes sense. Okay, I know that was super confusing. If you have any questions, guys, please do not hesitate to ask down in the comment section below. Let's get into this. Now, okay, oops, let me make sure the volume is off. Always got to make sure the volume's off. Don't want to get any kind of copyright strikes or anything. Playback speed is on 2x, and we are good to go. All right, now, we have got a game here of Purple Foxy here versus Blue Doflamingo. Dofi is going to get to go first, which is exactly what they want. They do always want to go first so they can get down the Perona or whoever and swing on the second turn of their leader. Boom, cheating out an Edward Weevil. And that is a pretty solid start for our Dofi player. We're going to take that, and it looks like we got an event trigger from our life to Rampadon. Going to play out the Porsche here to do a top 5 search for a Foxy Pirates type character, or a Foxy Pirates type card, playing out a 4,000 power or lower purple character, playing out the, what's his name? I think it's like Ito Mimizu. He can ramp Dawn. Let me pause. Guys, this game's going very quickly. That 3-cost card is so much better than people realize. It allows you to ramp, and it is a Foxy Pirates card. Real quick, if you are not aware of what Foxy does as a leader, I'm trying to remember the exact phrasing of his ability, but it's basically a when attacking Dawn -3 effect. If you have 3 or more Foxy Pirates characters in play, you get to choose one of your opponent's characters and leaders, and they will not become active on their next refresh phase. So that effect is insanely powerful. However, did you hear the setup it requires? You have to have 3 or more Foxy Pirates type characters on the board. Okay, so that Ito Mimizu guy is actually very important. Number 1, he's ramping you Dawn, and number 2, he's helping you fill up the board very easily, especially with effects like Porsche. So that card is actually a huge part of the puzzle, you know, piece to the puzzle when it comes to figuring out Foxy. Okay, they're going to swing in for 5 here. Got a 2K counter out of that, that's fine. Yeah, we don't want to take too much damage this early, but hey, oh wow. So then we top deck the 7-cost Foxy character. He is a 7-cost, 7,000 power character, and he has the effect of just, on your opponent's turn, all of your opponent's characters are -1,000 power. That is very strong. And he has an activate main to ramp a Dawn. So you see what's going on here, guys? We're about to be on, what? Let me see. We've got 4, I think we had 7 Dawn this turn to play the guy. We're about to go up another Dawn to use the leader effect here. Or excuse me, to use that Foxy character's effect. And then we're going to be able to do whatever we need to. So here we go. When attacking. Let me, hang on one second, guys. I'm going to read it real quick. Pause. So it says, yeah, when attacking, Dawn -3 if you have 3 or more Foxy Pirates characters in play. Yes, so that part was correct. Choose up to 1 each of your opponent's rested leaders and characters. The cards you choose do not become active during their owner's next refresh phase. So guess what? That Edward Weevil and that leader are not attacking for the rest of the game, guys. Foxy might be very, very strong into this meta if Dofi becomes very powerful. Also think of that in terms of like if you're playing against Zoro, right? Like that's what they're calling Zoro now with the animal version. They're calling him Zoro for the animals. If you can lock down one of their 3-cost 5k choppers and their leader, that's pretty good. But I don't know if this deck will be quite fast enough to deal with that. We'll have to see how things happen. But this right here against Doflamingo seems very, very strong, very powerful. Okay, so right here, we're gonna swing for 5 at leader, use the effect, Dawn -3, resting those 2 characters, and we're coming in for 5. Okay, then we're gonna use the Ito Mimizu, and we're gonna use the Foxy. We just ramped 2 Dawn up, choosing not to swing for 5 with Porsche. I'm very surprised we decided not to swing with Porsche there, but it does make sense, so that way they can't attack into Porsche, and we lose our character, losing our leader's effect. But we have other characters we can play next turn, so we'll have to see what happens here. Okay, they go ahead and play out the 4-cost Boa from OP0, 8.5, ST18 is what it's from. Wait, 15, 16, from ST17, excuse me. They're going to swing for 5. We'll give them a 1k counter. I like that. The Ito Mimizu there. It's a 1k counter as well, guys. Okay, they swing for 4. We'll take it. Swing for 5. I like giving them the 2k counter for the Black Maria there. Play out the Porsche. We get another Foxy. Seems good. And we've got Pickle now. Pickle can help protect our board, guys. I'll try to pause it if we go back over him. Let me actually, we will pause it real quick once. Right. Hang on one second, guys. There it is. So Pickle's a 3-cost 4k, 1k counter Foxy Pirates type. If you have less or equal Dawn than your opponent, your Foxy Pirates characters other than Pickle cannot be KO'd by your opponent's effects. So Blue does deal with bottom decking as a form of removal, but still it's good to have an extra body on the board, and now they can't, you know, well, against other decks, they wouldn't be able to remove the character. Okay, so good stuff. All right, so our board's getting full now. Our board is completely full. We're going to swing 7 into one of these characters. They're going to block and give us a 2k. That's fine. Okay, swinging for 7 into 6 here. I would have probably swung 8. But okay, they want to stand up Foxy and swing for 7 more. That's fine. See, okay, so hear me out. I'm a very greedy person, I guess. So hear me out. Here's how I would have done this turn. I would have locked down both Edward Weevils this turn with my leader effect by playing out the Black Maria. That's what I would have done personally, okay? Instead of playing out the Pickles this turn, I would have played out the Black Maria. I would have still swung the 7 into the Jinbei, and then I would have loaded up to swing, into the Jinbei again with the everything would have been the same, but instead of making my character active again, my 7-cost character, I would have made my leader active and done the effect again to lock down a second character. But that's just me. I'm a little bit greedy there, and that wasn't like a bad play or anything. It's just a different play. Make sure to gain the Dawn at the end of turn. Excellent. And now we're still on 6 Dawn, it looks like. I think we have 2, 4, we have 6 Dawn still. Yeah, guys, that 3 cost, I can't remember the name. It's some kind of like Mega Punch or something like that. It's actually very powerful. Swing for 7 into 5. They're going to take that. That's fine. And guys, now it's just lockdown mode. Oh, man. Yeah, if we get down the other Foxy... Okay, he's going to swing for 8 into 6. That thing's gone. Now play out the other Foxy. This game is over. Guys, it is completely over. Lock down those 2 characters. Now we can just completely ignore that Edward Weevil for the rest of the game. And we're generating 3 extra Dawn a turn to compensate for our leader effect with our board. This is why it will be important, guys, going forward. If you do ever plan on, like, if you're playing in the OP08 meta over here in the West, you do need some form of removal. Notice how they don't have a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger to take out this Itamizu and the Pickle, or like the Porsche we had the turn before. You have to have some kind of removal, guys. I'm telling you. I think it would be worth going Red Rock on this turn to remove a Foxy and then smashing everything into the other Foxy. That's how I would have dealt with this if I was on the Dofi side. Okay, so I wouldn't have done that personally. I would have just swung into face here. Because guys, or whoever's listening, they can't, if we keep using our leader effect, which there's no reason why we would not use the leader effect this turn, why wouldn't we? You know what I mean? I would use the leader effect and lock down the character and the leader, and that's that. Standing him up again, okay, sure. Smashing in. Again, I would definitely use leader effect, very nice. Lock down the leader, and now use the effects to gain all of our Dawn back, and that's that. Hey, we're in good shape now. And guess what, man? It's game over. There's pretty much no possibility for the Doflamingo to survive next turn, especially making that play. So, pause. We will at least talk about that. The only chance he had of trying to win this, I'm not saying he could have, but the only chance he had of trying to win this turn right here would have been smash everything in with Boa into one of the Foxies, and then that's going to get met with a Queen or Counter Power. We've got 5k in counter right now. So, I mean, he should have tried to smash into one of the Foxies and then smash into the Pickle with the Buggy. That's like our only chance, you know what I mean? If you're the Doflamingo player, excuse me. I don't know what's in his hand, but that's like your only chance. So, hey, guys, Foxy Pirates is a hard counter to Dofi. Smash in for 10 into 7. Yep, there's the blocker, and GG. They go ahead and tap out. They concede. Well played. That was a good one. Like I said, I think that was played completely, very solid performance there by the Foxy player who submitted this. The only thing that I will say that I think would have been interesting is on this turn right here. So hear me out, instead of playing out the Pickle. So let's go back to the very beginning of this turn. Okay, so, oh wait, this is so perfect. All right, this is the end of their turn. Now it's our turn. Okay, we have 8 Dawn to work with here, right? So what I probably would have done, and this is just me, what I would have done in this situation is I want to play out the Porsche like you did, and I'd be cheating out the Black Maria. Okay, so I would still have 3 Dawn left for the turn, and I'm telling you right now, those 2 Edward Weevils would not have untapped for the rest of the game, and everything would just be going at their face, I think. But let me see real quick. So right here, I like playing out the Porsche first, getting a top 5 search. We'll snagging Foxy is exactly what I would have done, and then I would have cheated out the Black Maria here. And then we still have 5 Dawn. Excuse me, we wouldn't have 3 Dawn. We'd have 5 Dawn left to work with. And guess what? I'd be swinging 8 into the first Edward Weevil with my Foxy, or excuse me, into, excuse me. I would swing 7 into the Jinbei like you did. I'm pretty sure that's your next play here. Swing for 7 into Jinbei. Excuse me. But I would have done it with my Foxy. And then look what he does. Block 2k. Now my game plan changes a little bit. And I'm going to go 7 into the, then I would go 7 or 8 into one of these characters on the board. And the 2 new targets I would lock down with my remaining 3 Dawn would be the what's her name? The Boa Hancock and one of the Weevils. You see what I'm saying? I'd have to do the math. I kind of like confused myself at the end there. I'm not going to lie. I don't know how much Dawn I just used in that example, but that is how I would go about it. Where essentially I would lock down a Weevil and the Boa and put more pressure on my opponent in that way. But at the same time, I do like you getting rid of the characters because you only have one Mega Puncher. I can't remember the name of that 3-cost event in his hand. It stands up a Foxy character or leader, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. I think it's worded a Foxy card. But hey, that was an awesome game. Really great submission there. Foxy Pirates, guys, got to keep your eyes on that, especially if there's a lot of blue Doflamingo players at your locals. you might really frustrate some of your local players by going this. Now, I mean, not frustrate in a bad way, right? Just, I'm saying, like, in general, you know, people are going to be like, wait, why are you playing Foxy? And then they're going to get hit with his very first leader effect, and they're going to be like, oh, now I understand. Really good stuff, though. Really enjoyed this game. Now, y'all give me 1 second to get set up, guys. Give me just a moment here. Let me put on the black screen. I'm not even going to move my face, guys, because we're going straight into more sim games. I just got to move this screen here and bring up the games we're going to be on. Okay. Now, okay, almost had it just right. There we go. Everyone has different resolutions, you know, with their that they submit for the games, and I always have to kind of adapt it a little bit. But there we go. So now, we are going to be looking at 5 games of Green Blue Zanji. All right? This should be a lot of fun. I have not added a lot of new cards to the deck. In fact, I think I've only added 2, and you can see both of them. How funny is that? Out of 48 cards, you can see both of them in my hand right now. It is the new 6-cost, what's his name? Mihawk. Okay? We'll check out the deck list at the end, but let's go ahead and dive into this first game. Let me make sure the volume is off and the speed is on 2x, and we are good to go, guys. So first game here, we got a game against Red Purple Luffy as Green Blue Zanji. I am still sticking with like the 7 Warlords feel. I'm going to swing 8 and 6 to start the game off. Put him on 2 life early. Seems good for what we're trying to do, guys. I still want the Nekomamushis in there. I still want the carrots. And I still want the 7 Warlords package. I think it's just too strong to not include for what Zanji does. Okay, they start off with a... excuse me, let me go ahead and pause this for a second. So they start off with a Bankrei Bentham and just swing. And we took it. And we're going to match with a 4-cost of our own. Of course, we play Edward Weevil and we draw into the Jinbei. It's like we just lost so much potential pressure there. If I could have had, you know, those 2 in my hand to start. But hey, it happens. But otherwise, guys, this is a very, very solid start to our turn. But it could have been even better. Or to our game, rather. Okay, so let's see what our opponent does here. They're already at 10 Dawn, right? They just drop down a Eustace Kid, go Dawn -1. And here we go. They're going to swing for 6, swing for 7. I 2K out of 1, took the 7. I 2K'd out of the 6K, obviously, and then took the 7. And now we're in a tough spot. We're in a tough situation here. But I will say this right now. That card has got to go. The Bentham, the Bankrei needs to go. So I'm going to swing 5 into Bankrei. He's not going to defend that. That would have been crazy. And then I'm going to swing 7 into 7. He only has 5 cards in hand. He takes it. Guys, whew. That is dangerous. That is very dangerous. I play out Paul's. So I did go back to running Duval because he is such a great target for the leader effect. For those who are not aware on how Zanji works, the leader basically has Dawn ×1. When attacking, you can return a 2-cost or higher character to your hand, and then you can stand up a character with 7,000 power or less. So there's a balance there, right? You have to have some 2-cost characters in your deck, or more, to pull back your hand that you actually want to pull back. Jinbei is another really good card to pull back, by the way. But you need to have a balance there of cards to pull back and cards to flood the field with that are under 7,000 power, or 7,000 or less power. Okay, so all right, so here, let's see what happens here. I am back to Duval. I did go ahead and play out the Jinbei to cheat out the Gecko Moria, getting back a 2K counter. I'm setting my top cards here, and I'm off to a pretty good start. I think I bottom decked all of those cards, by the way. I'm looking for removal at this point. I think I'm running 2 Red Rocks in the list. That's another thing that's nice about Duval. I guess, okay, you could run Doflamingo there, the 3-cost Dofi. We'll talk about that more at the end of the video if I remember, but I'd rather have the cheapest possible answer in that spot. Okay, he just swung for 9 into my Edward Weevil. And I think what I need to do is I need to counter out of this attack, so that way he swings in more with his leader, because that was going to go through otherwise, right? And he needs to go for my guy. I will say that if he's smart, he will go for my character here. Yeah, that was very smart. I'm going to give him the blocker. And now it's my turn again. I needed to be able to counter out of one of those attacks, and we were able to do that. Okay, so he has 2 Dawn active. I'm swinging 7 at face, and he takes it. Okay, that was wild, right? Like that was, you know, as a Zanji player, I'm like licking my lips right now, right? I'm like, oh, okay, bud, you're really trying me here. So I'm gonna swing 7 more into it. He's probably look at that. He doesn't have any counters, guys. All he needed was a 1K counter. He had to use a 1-cost 4K to get out of that, unless he's just trying to draw cards. So I swing for 7 here. Okay, now I think I'm going to swing for 7 more of my leader. Not sure what's going on. probably return back my Jinbei. Yeah, I think this was just a little bit sloppy. Yeah, we'll pull this back, swing in for 7. Let's see what he gives me. That's not a good sign. And then we'll swing in for a 9. Guess what that means? This guy is toast, right? Unless he... Okay, he does have another 1-cost event. Very nice. But guys, this is not the situation you want to be in. For those who might be wondering, if there's any question in your mind, that's not the situation you want to be in as a red-purple Luffy player, where you had to use your blocker that early, you had to go through all those cards in hand. But that's why you also have to be careful with your ratios, guys. Look at all these cards he's playing. He's got a 7-cost guy. That has no counter. He just trashed a 10-cost, whatever his name is. Okay, and he just gives up. He had to give up. Because here's one thing you have to realize. Look at all these cards in his hand, guys. 9 and 10-cost cards. You have to be so careful with your ratios. Here's the thing. Even if he had... Okay, well, hang on. If he had... I'm trying to think if he had been able to get... Because he was not at 10 Dawn, guys. He had to go back 2 times. He had to go back 4 Dawn to play both of those 1-cost events. Okay? Because it's 2 Dawn, minus 2 Dawn for each. So he went down to 6 Dawn. And then he goes back up to 8. He can use his leader effect to go to 9. And now he can't play anything except an Edward Newgate. And then I just bowl him over the next turn. I load everything up and just go through him. So he had to play a blocker. He tried to search for any kind of counter power he could get. And look at the counter power he got. He got a 1K counter. That's it. So you have to be very careful with your ratios. Okay? But hey, this is OP09. We got to be nice. I'm not trying to be mean. We have to be nice to these players, guys, because they're trying to figure out the new decks as well. If you're playing in the OP09 meta on the sim right now, you are playing in a totally brand new format, guys. Like 100% brand new. Okay, next game. That was a fun one. All right, now we got a game versus purple-black Luffy. Okay, speed 2x. Again, guys, this is all OP09, of course. All right, so I'm going to start off with a Sengoku. I go ahead and grab the 5-cost Dofi. Oh, that is another card I'm running from OP09, guys. I am running the new 5-cost Dofi. It's okay. It's searchable by Sengoku. It's decent, right? It is decent. Okay, so they're going to go ahead and play out the Zoro there. They're going to ramp pretty nicely, swing in for 8. We'll take this. They don't have any hand discard usually. Not yet, at least. We'll see if they add any later. So we're going to swing for 6, no leader effect, and then we're going to use this card called Jinbei that cheats out a card called Weevil. And now we are in a very, very good position. Let me say something right now, guys. Zanji is very good into purple. I'm not saying that purple cannot beat Zanji. Of course, it will always depend on the pilot. It will always depend on the version. It will always depend on the start and whatever your draw was. However, Zanji is very well catered to beat purple right now. Watch this, guys. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch this. We'll swing 7 into 5. By all means, counter it. Okay, use your blocker. That ill-advised. Ill-advised. I would not use the blocker in that situation. We'll swing for 6. Let's get some counters out of his hand. Now, we're going to pull back our Jinbei. First swing 6. Pull back Jinbei. Stand up our Edward Weevil. Swing 7 more into it. Let's see what he does. He's trying to fix his hand with the new 1-cost event. That card's gone. Play out Jinbei. Play out another Edward Weevil. And guys, purple-black does not have a lot of removal. You have to be so careful, so spare. You have to really be very, cautious when using your characters to attack. They swing in for 5 there. We're just going to 1K counter out. They left 1 Dawn active. We know what that means. Swing for 7. Guys, this guy's almost has no chance. I'm going to be honest. Like given the board state right now, looking at his hand, looking at mine, looking at our life totals, looking at his board, there's just nothing that can be done. It's just going to be 6s and 7s all day, every day. We're going to swing for 6, pull this guy back, swing for 7. We're going to go ahead and play out the Bonnie here. We'll lock a Dawn down. Now he can't even access. Now he only has 6 on for the turn, and he just gives up. I can't even say I blame him. I don't know what he was going to play that turn. Look at his hand. He couldn't play anything anyway, right? Let me see something. He only had 3, 6. He would have only had access to 7 Dawn. There was an argument there that I could have actually just gone Jinbei into a Gecko Moria, and that might have even been a better play, getting back a counter from my trash. What is he supposed to do there? I have no idea. But Green-Blue Zanji goes wide, 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 and if you cannot deal with the board, you are toast. You are absolutely toast. Okay, next game. So that was Green-Blue Zanji versus Purple-Black Luffy. We've got another game of a bunch of Luffys today, guys. A whole lot of Luffys, okay? But they are different ones, right? We did a purple-black, we did a black-yellow, we did a red, and we're doing a black-yellow now, we already did a red-purple. Okay, speed 2x, the volume's already off, and here we go. Sengoku start, we'll take it. We do have the 6-cost Mihawk in our hand this game. That's pretty cool. Okay, just waiting for my opponent here. Let's see how aggressive they want to be with taking their own life cards. This really is the sign. Like how, okay, and they chose not to take any. I kind of like, that was kind of smart in my opinion on their part. Because if they get too greedy with losing their life cards, I'm just going to bowl them over. Just going to run them right over. Okay, let's see what they do here. They are going to use Hiyori. So since they saw that I did not have like a really like explosive turn 2 play, they decided to do what they did there. And I don't think I have a problem with that play. I think that was a good play that they did. So we're not going to swing. We're just going to go ahead and play out the play out the carrot here. Can't lock anything down with it, but it is threatening for next turn. Like, looking back, I kind of like the Doflamingo there, the Don Quixote Doflamingo 5-cost 6K card. I think that would have been kind of good because it's a blocker, but you know, not the worst thing in the world. The reason I didn't play out Jinbei is I didn't want to get rid of my 1-2K counter. That's the only logic there. So did I go ahead and block that? Yeah, I think I blocked it because I don't want to go too low either because I knew he had another attack. Did not want to go too low. But now we can actually attack into his his Luffy. Let's see what he wants to do here. Do you want to give me a 2K, 1K when you only have 5 cards in hand? Be my guest if you do. Then we're going to go ahead and play out the Jinbei, play out the Gecko Moria, and I have no cards to get back from my trash with Gecko Moria. That was unfortunate. I am running quite a few. I'm running a lot of 7 Warlords cards. I just got kind of a weird pull. Maybe I should have countered differently through this game, something like that, but I got a very weird pull. I did get a Hody Jones from Life there, so that's pretty good. And now let's see what we're going to do. Okay, I think we're going to establish a blocker. My opponent still has 2 life, so they can't really do anything crazy next turn on their Tindon turn. There's nothing they can do that's like super crazy. We're going to go ahead and play out a Sengoku and probably replace it with a Duval immediately. I think I want to get a 1K counter here. Yeah, and that's what I do. Play out the Sengoku, the Duval. Play out the Duval and set my top 3 cards the way I want. So now I'm actually threatening lethal next turn, right? Like, so next turn I can actually swing for 7 4 times. Excuse me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can swing for 7 5 times next turn. So this is a very ugly position for my opponent to be in, and I can swing for more than that if I choose Hody Jones. It'd be more like 6s and 7s. Okay, but he did get to plus 2,000 power for the turn, and let's see what he replaces his life with. Okay, Luffy and Luffy. Very good. He's going to use the Luffy. He's going to pop probably my Jinbei. I think, honestly, he should have probably gotten through my blocker, maybe. But I don't know. Jinbei's a good target as well. But my logic is, like, my logic at this point is, like, okay, Jinbei's probably not swinging into a 9K body, right? Or, excuse me, into a 9K leader. But, hey, sure, by all means. Okie dokie. Let's see what we do here. We don't have a lot of great choices, but we do have to put some pressure on my opponent here. We're going to swing 8 into 6, get rid of that blocker. We'll swing 8 more into actually, hang on, let me see if I do this correctly. Let's see if I do this correctly, guys. Let's see if I do this correctly. Okay, we'll swing for 7 into 6, so that way I can stand it up afterwards. Then we will swing for, let's see, I think I need to get ready to play a blocker, right? Or am I just going to counter out of everything? I might swing that, pull that card back, and now I think I should, actually, I don't even have a Duval in my hand. What am I talking about? Okay, they play out a Kuzan here. So, I have a blocker. What am I talking about? Excuse me. I was like, guys, what have I just done? Did I just lose the game and not realize it? No, I have the Draco Mihawk is a blocker, for those who are not aware, and I stood it up at the end of the turn by pulling back my Gecko Moria. Now, what is he supposed to do? I do have a pretty large amount of counter power in hand, guys. I do have 2, 4, 6, and he just gives up. I think he gave up a little prematurely there, but what is he going to do this turn without having a way to get rid of this last life card and also gaining life in the process? So, for example, maybe I don't know if he probably drew the Gecko Moria with the Kuzan. I think we can safely assume that, because otherwise he'd have played it. But okay, instead of playing the Kuzan in this situation, you actually probably should have played the Luffy, the Monkey D. Luffy, and then you could have done whatever you needed from there. So, I don't know. I guess he didn't play it correctly, and that happens. Hey, people are trying to learn new leaders on the sim and all that good stuff. But, guys, if he had not won that turn, it was going to be another turn of just relentless attacks. You know what I mean? It was going to be pretty nasty. But, you know, obviously that was a little bit of pilot error. Okay, we got 2 more games, guys. We got 2 more games. We got another one versus Black-Purple Luffy, or Purple-Black Luffy. I've been seeing a lot of these show up on the sim. Speed 2x. There we go. And, hey, that blocker Mihawk is not bad, guys. Being able to stand it up as a blocker and defend after attacking for 7 without any Dawn investment on the character seems good. Seems pretty good. Okay, so let's see what he does here. We played out Double Sengoku. He plays out Trafalgar Law, the new Searcher, top 4 for Straw Hat or Kid Pirates. He grabs a 7-cost Sanji, the new purple 7-cost Sanji. We're going to swing for 5 into face here. Try to poke some cards out of his hand, you know, bother him a little bit, and we'll play out a Jinbei plus Weevil. This start is very strong, guys. Like, if you can get that start with Zanji, especially going second, you're probably going to win a whole lot of games, guys. Unless it's a deck that has a lot of removal. Of course, that's kind of the bane of Zanji's existence, is like high removal decks. It's very hard to deal with. Okay. So they swing for 5 here, just kind of pestering me a little bit. I am going to 2K out of that, so I have a target in my trash for the Gecko Moria if I have to play that. And right here, so this is, so watch this, guys. Let me pause. This is one of my favorite situations to be in as green-blue Zanji. I have an Edward Weevil in my Jinbei on the board, right? Well, look what I can do now. With a 6 on turn, I can swing for 5 with my character, the Jinbei, 6 with my leader, well, 7 with my, swing for 5 with the Jinbei, and then 7 with Weevil. You have to go out of order a little bit, and then put 1 Dawn on your leader, swing for 6 with a leader, pulling back the Jinbei, standing up your Weevil to swing for 7 more, and then you play out the Jinbei again where they can't attack it now because he's active, and cheat out another character. This is one of my favorite plays to do as Zanji, as green-blue Zanji. So here we go. I'm going to swing for 7 now. This should go through. Okay, swing for 6. Do what I said. Pull back that guy. Stand that guy. Yeah, pull back the Jinbei. Stand the Weevil. Swing for 7 more. Don't play your characters out just yet. You want to see. You don't want them to know. Play out the Jinbei, getting out the Gecko Moria for free, getting back a 2K counter that we used last turn. So like the amount of value in that play there. Notice our hand size versus theirs. Notice our board state versus theirs. They just played that Sanji for the turn. They're in a very, very awful position here. 7 into 5. I'm going to aggressively counter out of that. I've got all these cards in my hand, and I have a full board. They have no Dawn left. They have 1 Dawn left for their 1-cost 4K counter. So at this point, the game's actually just over, right? Like I think I go for lethal here if I remember correctly. Yep, we're going to swing 7 like 4 times. You know, let's see what you got. Okay. He was able to counter out. He was able to counter out of that one. So now we will pull back the Jinbei. Yep, pulling up the Weevil. Swing for 7. Yeah, I should swing first because then I can go for lethal if he takes it, and then we'll go for 9 with Gecko Moria if he takes it. Okay, yep, loaded up, and that's how that works, guys. That was a turn 4 KO straight through a 1-cost 4K counter that draws 2 cards after trashing 1. It's just hard to deal with this. Okay, then I think we have one more game, right? Let me see something. No, wait, yeah, I think so. Oh yeah, we do. We have one more game against Red Purple Luffy. All right, let me go to that one. Like I said, guys, there's a lot of Luffy games today. This is not the same one either. Okay, I had to double check that. Okay, Speed 2X, and we're off to the races here. Got Neko Mamushi in hand. We got the new 6-cost 7K Mihawk. I complained about this before when I was doing the review of the cards for OP09, the blue cards. I'm very annoyed that they could not have given Dracula Mihawk the ability to be searched by Sengoku. I understand people always try to reason with me like, well, yeah, but thematically, or you know, per the lore, per the story, he was no longer this, that, or the. I don't care. I'm coming at it from a gamer, from a player in the game, someone who does not really follow the storyline. So for me, it's like, guys, this was such a perfect opportunity to help take Green-Blue Zanji to the next level. Who else could have used it in any other way than that? You know what I mean? Or who else could have abused it? I guess maybe Dofi. I seriously doubt it. If you know how to play Dofi, I don't think that's what they're going. They're not going for 6-cost characters, right? They already have Boa Hancock, which is extremely powerful. But this card in particular, in Green Blue Zanji, is outrageously good. But who knows? For balance purposes, they must have done it. But I was very sad about that. Okay, now back to the game. We can't search him up with Sengoku, right? Because he's a cross guild, not a 7 Warlords of the Sea type. They swing in for 6. We're going to 2K counter out. We'll be able to get that card back with a Gecko Moria later if we need it. I get the start, guys. This is just the start, right? This is the start for Dofi, and this is the start for Green Blue Zanji. Okay, and I have another Edward Weevil in hand. You guys remember the play I was just telling you about last turn? Now we're going to go 6 4 times. Excuse me. This right here, we're about to go 6 4 times, guys. Watch this. Okay, swing for 8. That seems pretty good. We're down to 2 life. Okay, but here's where things go ugly for my opponent. Okay, first we'll swing 6 into 4. Perfect. Now we'll swing 6 into face, 6 into 6. Use the leader effect, pull back the Jinbei, stand up the Weevil. Okay, let's see what he does. 2K counters out. We'll swing in for 6 more. He'll probably take this one because he's down to 3 cards. Okay, any trigger? Nope. Play out the Jinbei, playing out another Weevil. I don't know what my opponent is supposed to do here if they do not have removal. Now, they could play out like a 7-cost Eustace Kid to go up to 7,000 power for the turn. That would be their best case scenario. That's not their best case scenario. I'm here to tell you right now, guys. Okay, seeing that, it's like, hey, bud, I hate to break it to you, but this game is over now. You're not even going to be able to KO this guy. Yeah, GG. They had 1 Dawn active. They were threatening 1 Dawn for for whatever the card's called, the Gum Gum Giant. That wasn't going to save them, right? Because this next turn here, I'll go up to 8 Dawn, right? With 8 Dawn, I'm going to swing 7s across the board 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. It's going to be 5 attacks of 7. He could get out of 2. He takes 2. He might be... Hang on. And then he wouldn't even be able to get out. Actually, guys, listen to this. So if I swing 7 with Weevil, 7 with Jinbei, 7 with Weevil, 7 with my leader, pulling back the Jinbei to stand up the other Weevil, and then everything else on Weevil, because let me see, that'd be, for 8 Dawn, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would still have 2 Dawn left. So my last 2 attacks actually would have been 8Ks. He can get out of 2 of them, like 1, 2, he has 2 2K counters in hand, and then he only has a 1K coming out of life. It's just, there's just no way out of it. His best chance of surviving that turn was playing out Edward Newgate. That would have been his best chance, and then he could have smashed into for 8 into my Weevil, or even into face, trying to win on the following turn, but that would have been his best chance of surviving right there, is playing out the Edward Weevil. Okay, that was a fun one, guys. That was a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and check out the deck list, and we'll wrap up the video in that way. Okay, let me move my face as well. That would help. All right, so here we go. So, guys, this is the list I've been tampering with, I've been messing with. There's only 2 cards I've added since my last version. I've added 2 Mihawks, and this took the place of 2 Boa Hancocks that I had in the list. And then I'm trying out 4 of this Doflamingo here. I think I went down some 2K counters or something to go up this card. I don't remember. I might have gone down 1 Red Rock, 1 Pudding, and 2 of the 4-cost 4K Trafalgar Law cards, that the 2K counter that can, like, activate main, return to your hand. Your opponent has to put a card on the bottom of their deck if they have 6 or more in hand. I took that card out because I already have 4 of this 2K counter, 4 of this 2K counter, and I think, is that it? I think I might have, yeah, that's it. I'm only running 8 2K counters now, but I can get them both back with Gecko Moria. There's definitely an argument to pull in, or to put in Dracula Mihawk in the list, but again, the green one, sorry guys, this one right here, I already have it loaded in. Let me just type in Drac. Here we go. This is a great card. It is 7 Warlords of the Sea searchable. It's a, it'd be one of the few green cards. Actually, I have more green cards in the list now that I've added the Bonnies. So I've been experimenting with the idea of Bonnie and Carrot. So hear me out. If I can get them to rest one of their characters, this ends up being as strong for me as the 6-cost 8K, what's her name? Boa Hancock. Here's the thing. No, it is not searchable like Boa is. However, this is also a 1K counter, and it's just a nice 5-cost 6K that I can put 1 Dawn on and just start smashing away with my leader effect. Same idea with Carrot. If I get down a Carrot against like a wide board, that character's never standing again, and then I'm going to attack multiple times with my Carrot each turn now, so now 2 characters aren't attacking anymore. This card has a lot of utility, and guess what? Worst case scenario, counter with it. You know what I mean? It's just not a bad card for what we're doing. NECA Mamushi is very solid as well. But I will say this. I do kind of want to put this card back into the deck, because then we also have the chance of cheating out a Edward Weevil on turn 2 going first with a card like Dracula Mihawk. Okay? And this, it does bring it into play rested. But hey, even on a 4 Dawn play, like one other option you could do is on a 4 Dawn play where we don't see the Jinbei, we can go, okay, with 4 Dawn, right? 3 to play out Dracula Mihawk, attach 1 to our leader, swing for 6 into their face, pulling back the Mihawk and standing up the Edward Weevil so we don't lose it on their next turn on the crackback. So just some options. That's just some options we have here. I'm running double Red Rock in case I have to go late game against some of the decks that are running, like, for example, this was built for OP09, right? So if I'm going against, like, a Blackbeard or something like that, which I haven't played against any Blackbeards that I can think of. I don't think I played against any Blackbeards yet on the sim for this Green-Blue Zanji build, but I do feel like this would be pretty decent against them, right? Because my on-plays aren't really relevant. I mean, some are, don't get me wrong. Like Edward Weevil's drawing cards and Jinbeis, like those are definitely very strong on-play effects, but if I can fill the board wide enough and they're not running enough removal, you're just swinging so many times. Like, are they even going to get to the turn where they can drop Blackbeard or Teach, Marshall D. Teach. We'll have to see. Again, that'll all require testing, and I need to see what the main Blackbeard deck list even has, like if it's even running enough removal, right? Okay, well, that's about it for this one, guys. Today is a shorter video, especially by my standards, right? I put out a 2-hour video yesterday with more Red Yellow Sabo guides for, you know, the full updated OP08 list for everybody over here in the West, so they're going to be ready to go straight out of the gate. But guys, y'all tell me what y'all think about Zanji. I will probably put out a OP08 list, but I'm going to be honest, guys. It's what you see right here. And instead of the OP09 cards, these 2 Draco Mihawks and these 4 Doflamingos, you just put in 2 Boa Hancocks and you put in 4 2K counters. I mean, that's pretty much it. Or like this is like a flex slot. You can put the Draco Mihawks here, the 3-cost one, the 3-cost green one right down here. You can put 4 of these in that spot. You can mix and match it however you want to. You know what I mean? But this is pretty much kind of what I'm feeling for Zanji going into OP08. OP09 is the stuff we just said. But like going into OP08, it doesn't change much. Just the few revisions I just talked about. All right, guys, that's about it. Again, guys, if y'all have any ideas down in the comment section below, like a card that I might have missed, because, guys, I miss cards all the time. I'm making a new deck every single day. You know what I mean? Bear with me. If I miss a card, be like, hey, what do you think about this card? What do you think about this one? You know, if I miss it, just bear with me, okay? One card that I wish had a little more synergy for us was the 4-cost Trafalgar Law 5K from ST17, right? 15, 16, 17, yeah. Let's at least bring that one up real quick. Let me go blue and go to Trafalgar Law. This guy. Unfortunately, now you can still return back your Sengoku to get extra value with this card, but you can't do the bounce effect unless your leader has 7 Warlords. That is so frustrating. This card was almost so perfect for us, guys. This card, if it was not locked to 7 Warlords of the Sea, I think this card alone with what we already have would have taken Green Blue Zanji to an entirely different level, where all of a sudden it's like a tier 1 deck. Not broken, by the way, because there are still decks that can easily deal with Green Blue Zanji. Any deck running high removal. But the point is, if we were able to use this card in Green Blue Zanji, whew, that would have been nice. Oh well. All right. I'm done. I'm done yapping. You guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. If you got any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Please give me some ideas down there. If like, how much do you got? Okay, let me say this. How good do you think Green Blue Zanji will be going into this new format in the West in OP08 when there's no Red Purple Law and Lucci has been nerfed for the early game? You know, Lucci's still very strong, but it has been nerfed a little bit for the early game with no stage. So now that we can fill out the board and not have to worry about everything getting removed every single turn, all of a sudden, does this, you know, kind of like what I was saying in the intro, I think I mentioned it in the intro, all of a sudden this list kind of becomes decent, right? Like all of a sudden this deck list, if it's not losing a character every single turn like it used to, you know, against like Prime Lucci, maybe this deck can start to see a little bit extra play. We'll have to see. You guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. All right, I'm done. So real quick, let me throw up the Patreon page here, or the playmats first. Big shout out to everybody who supports my channel, guys. Whether you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, whatever you're doing, I really, really appreciate it, guys. Big shout out to everybody supporting the channel. Thank you to everybody who bought the playmats on here. Got all their names up here. The VP Pirates playmat supporters. Hope you're enjoying your playmat. And then last but not least, we got the patrons page here. Thank you to everybody on here. Whoops, let me move my camera down a little bit. There we go. Big shout out to everybody on this page just for trying to help me out and trying to keep the dream alive. All right, guys, that's it. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, guys, peace.